Cool. Well, I'm chewing an apple. Season 1, Episode 5, featuring Ryan Hoover, founder and CEO of Product Hunt. Watch me whip, or watch me nay-nay.
What is
Watch
it?
me whip, watch me nay-nay.
What is
They're
that?
all like, they're just all different dances.
Watch me whip. So like whip, I get what that is, but what's a nay-nay?
A nay-nay's like,
We should make up the next dance. All we have to do is come up with cool words. Like watch me rattle.
I don't think they have the street cred to create like an urban dance. I know.
I think we do. Like corkscrew. That's a good name for a dance.
I'm sure it exists.
No.
What are you gonna do?
The corkscrew?
What's the corkscrew gonna be?
I don't know, you like dive in, like twirl around, then pop up.
Corkscrew? Doesn't sound cool.
Now do the corkscrew. Corkscrew.
And I'm like, all right.
When you go pee in the middle of the night, by the way, do you sit?
For sure sit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People thought I was like crazy for that. Why would you sit? You're so tired.
No. I started doing that because of you.
I told you to sit.
Yeah, you told me to sit. And
It's
now
the best.
I sit like whenever I get a chance.
What does PAK stand for? Pack parking.
Back parking is my boss from Pakistan.
Oh, Pakistan parking.
Yeah, that's why I see many store and see BD, store BD like B Bangla, D dash Bangladesh.
I have no idea what you're saying.
Called bang parking.
Bang.
Bang.
You should be called bang parking.
Bank parking is no bank because bank is money.
Why don't you just bring your comic books to work tomorrow so you can have another unproductive day?
Okay. Do you ever worry that your kids are gonna do what I just did to you and you're gonna lose all leverage?
So I was literally getting them ready for the park. 2 of the 3 kids were ready. 1 kid go and put on his coat. All right, put on your coat or none of us are going to the park. He goes, okay. I lost all leverage.
Right, and then if you're like, I'm gonna send you to your room, he's probably thinking like, oh, you're gonna send me into my nice cushy room and make me use my imagination.
That's where my parents messed up big time.
Room
Because
tonight.
exactly,
Yeah.
because that I get in trouble. They go to your room. Fantastic. That's where I want to go anyway. That's where I hang out 90% of the day.
Right.
What they should have done is send me to their room because their room's the one that sucked so much.
Right.
Do it again, and you're going to my room. Also, washing like kids' mouths out with soap. Do they do that still?
I don't think so.
Did that ever happen to you? Did you ever get mouth washed out?
I got it washed out once.
Did you call Child Protective Services on yourself?
No, I was terrified. After your parents wash your mouth out with soap, you think you're the baddest mother effers in the world. You don't mess with your parents.
It's like
after that.
waterboarding.
Yeah, it's like water. Yeah, it's terrible.
It's so gross. But you curse like a sailor. Didn't work.
Didn't work at all. At all.
They should have sent you to their room. All right, Ryan Hoover, how are you?
Doing excellent. How are you guys doing?
How are we doing today?
I was waiting for you to respond. Ryan Hoover, CEO and founder of Product Hunt. It's good to have you with us. Can you just tell us very briefly what Product Hunt is and does?
Yeah. So Product Hunt is a place to discover new products. So a lot of cool mobile apps, websites, games, books, and other things in the future that we'll be expanding into.
Cool. Congratulations. That was the shortest summary anyone had ever given us. Most people go on for 3 minutes.
Well, the truth is, I don't like talking about what I do. You know, I just went back to a 10-year high school reunion a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh gosh, I'm going to have to tell people this is what I'm doing and have to do the whole thing again. And I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be complaining about it, but I don't like talking about myself sometimes in Product Hunt.
Ryan, so I think from my interaction with you and some of the things you said in public, you're a bit of an introvert. How do you handle balancing that with running such a public company that's so community-based?
Yeah. Well, I'm certainly introverted, but somewhat extroverted in short doses. So I love hanging out with friends and I love meeting new people. We do our big happy hours and events, and those are super fun. But then I'm like drained after like 3-4 hours talking to people nonstop. But for me, a lot of my interactions actually online, which is why like so many introverts are like writers and personalities behind the internet. And, you know, a lot of what we do is scaled through like online communications through Twitter and on Product Hunt and through email and things like that. So I don't know, for me, it's not a challenge per se, because I do certainly enjoy meeting people and talking with them. But, you know, a lot of my interactions are really just through the computer.
Do you think that you've intentionally maybe hired extroverts around you to maybe be a little bit more public and help balance out some of the introvert in you?
You know, what's funny is Corley recently wrote a job description that was spot on in how she kind of described our culture and the type of people we're looking for. And she made an observation that I hadn't really asked myself or recognized until now, is that actually a lot of the people on the team, most people are kind of introverted like myself. And we come in the office and it's like super dead quiet. Like people come in here and they're like, why is it so quiet? It's like, it's so weird. No one's talking to each other. And we're all just on the computer and we're hanging out in Slack and on Twitter and everything. But a lot of us are just very introverted, I think, as a team. But then like people like Eric, he's somewhat introverted, but also extremely extroverted, in doses too, because he's always going to events and meeting new people. So, I think there's a lot of similarities, in the team, honestly, with that.
Ryan, you've got 3 people behind a curtain, and you get to ask one question. And after asking that question, you have to marry one of them on the spot. What is the question you ask?
Oh gosh. Okay. This is a big decision. This is going to be the person I live with for the rest of my life. I would ask them, what are you curious about? I don't know. That's probably not what I'd ask them if I had days to think about it, but I'd be curious to know what they're curious about.
Are you hoping they say World of Warcraft? Would that seal the deal?
No, I'm actually hoping they'll say product hunt, because I'm so egotistical and looking to marry only product hunters.
What is
if they don't have a maker badge, you're not marrying them.
Oh yes, exactly. That's part of the criteria. It's actually on my OkCupid profile, just so people are really aware of that.
Nice.
Ryan, what does success look like to you for Product Hunt in the future?
Success. So what we're really trying to do is build communities in different categories and a place for people to discover and chat with the makers behind these products. And success is certainly subjective. You could put some metrics around it, like number of users or number of products downloaded, purchased, whatever. Ultimately, we just want to continue to grow and build out what we've created in the tech vertical in all of the places, and create a bigger community of people loving products and chatting with other enthusiasts.
I'm curious, you've obviously found some really great traction within the tech community. What do you have to do to scale it beyond that?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. It's part of what we've seen in tech and the reason why, we decided to take money, especially your guys' money and many others, to build this out and build out a team is that we know, I'm confident that the challenges and the opportunities inside of tech also apply to other categories. It applies to video games, to books, to a lot of other things that we're exploring right now. And what I mean by that is there's so much creation happening. There's people, self-publishing books. There's indie game creators publishing games on the App Store. And this is increasing. And it's awesome because we have so many people creating things, but when that happens, we also have a lot of noise to sift through. Like, how do you find the best of X? How do you find the newest, coolest thing and why? And I believe that this kind of behavior and this desire to find the newest, the best of something can apply to all the categories, not just technology, but the other ones that I described, and also some others that I'm intentionally not mentioning because we're kind of exploring those right now.
I have this question. I'm sure everybody else who has ever had a product listed on Product Hunt has this question. How does voting work? Because sometimes it seems like there's a product with 10 times more comments and 50 more votes, and it's behind something with less of both of those. And so we know there's some kind of algorithm going on in the background. What is going on? What is the most important thing? How do I make sure my product is at the top?
Yeah. So ultimately, what we're trying to do is build a system and a platform where the things that the community thinks is most interesting surfaces to the top. And so right now, the actual ranking itself is based on number of upvotes, time since posting. So if something is posted, let's say right now, and it has 10 upvotes, and something that was posted hours ago, has 20 upvotes, the one that has 10 upvotes actually might be ranked higher because it's had more time, it's had less time to kind of get attention. So there's that. There's also just voting ring detection and things like that, because we do have people trying to game the system constantly. And so you'll notice that some products have a lot of upvotes, but they actually are mostly either spam bots or from, their friends and things like that. So that's kind of how it works today at a high level, but what we're also exploring is adding kind of more social signals and abilities for you to see what your friends are upvoting. And so you'll start seeing actually very shortly some new changes to the site to kind of amplify and bring those connections to the forefront.
Do comments matter? And if so, how do you rank like someone just saying thanks for the comment versus like a actual detailed, lengthy response from the maker?
Yeah. We actually don't use comments as a part of the actual ranking of the product itself on the site. We might start exploring that, but to your point, we do have some people just having all their friends say, hey, awesome job, awesome job, awesome job. And that's not really useful to the conversation, nor is it like a signal of actual interest. So that's how that works. But we are also changing the way that comments are sorted. We recently started changing it based on the number of upvotes that comments receive. The better ones rise to the top. And we're making some changes actually that relates to the live chats that we just launched so that the best questions and the best answers also get more attention.
People who have products at the top always love everything that you're doing. And then people who post products who want them to be at the top and sometimes they're not start complaining that the system's rigged. Obviously it's not. How do you respond to those people? Do you respond to those people? Does it bother you?
Yeah. I mean, I try to respond to everyone. Sometimes I lose things in my Twitter feed, so apologies for anyone listening that's like, Ryan, you didn't respond to my tweet. Honestly, what I tell them at a high level is like, what we're trying to do is build a system where the community can find and surface the best stuff. And it's not always going to be fair in everyone's eyes. And we can't also, show the exact algorithm and the exact ranking behind the scenes, because then it becomes very obvious to game and things like that. So I think people understand, and a lot of people, most people at least understand that like communities are also full of people trying to game, and you can't make it entirely transparent.
If you could poach any employee from any company, who would it be and why?
Oh, this could be a controversial answer. This is a really good question, but not an obvious answer. I think we might have to, I don't know if poach is the right word, but Snoop Dogg. We should get Snoop Dogg on board. He's been on Product Hunt answering questions, and people love his responses. They're kind of ridiculous. In fact, he was on yesterday joining the conversation with Jacob Jabber from Phil's. And I think it'd be pretty sweet to have Snoop Dogg in the office. So that's my answer.
That would probably help with your "it's too quiet in our office" problem.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, good. So instead of Jack Dorsey or Tim Cook or Mark Zuckerberg, you'll take Snoop Dogg. I like it.
So we saw that you launched Product Hunt Live a couple days ago. And so I was curious, what is the internal process when deciding like what to launch next? Like if you're going to do a new vertical or launch kind of a product extension like a podcast or Product Hunt Live, like how does that actually work when you're deciding that?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. We have a bunch of features on a dartboard, and we throw a dart, and whichever feature we hit, we build that. So it's pretty scientific. I shouldn't be sharing this because it's pretty proprietary, secret, top secret information. Actually, the truthful answer is a lot of it is based on a number of things, either feedback from the community, and more specifically, like what is the community and what are people doing already. If we look at Product Hunt Live as an example, for months and months, the makers, really cool people, have been jumping into conversations and answering questions enthusiastically, and the community itself has been loving that conversation and sharing it. And so we wanted to create more of that opportunity, to create more opportunities for, really cool people to share their story and take questions and things like that. So a lot of it's just based on existing behavior, what's working now. And then some of it is also focusing on, okay, how will we get more people to get excited about Product Hunt and using it? And so those are kind of a couple of different criteria that we measure it by. And then we also put it within the lens of like, okay, where's Product Hunt going long term? Does it fit within that kind of vision overall? Because we do a billion different things that actually might serve both of those use cases, but if it doesn't fit with a long-term vision, then that's a distraction.
Product Hunt Live is awesome.
Actually, I'm curious, who would you want to see on Product Hunt Live?
Moses.
That would be epic.
Can you land Moses?
We can try. Is he on Twitter?
I'm sure. It's the best way to reach all the people.
Hey Ryan, just so you know, you're sponsoring this episode. It doesn't even cost you anything.
Woohoo! Sounds great. We haven't done any sponsorships, so this is the first. Should we do a press release?
thank you so much for joining us. Have an awesome weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, talk to you guys soon. Later.
Are you going to have a difficult time telling your other friends that I'm going to be your best man at your wedding? I'm going to be the best man, right?
No, you're not. I'm not gonna have a best man. I actually am not.
Why?
Because I have like friends who are all equal.
What?
I'm not gonna have a best man.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
You'll be one of the best men.
What does that mean?
Well, there's 5 best.
You mean
You're best by committee, maybe.
why would I be the best man? If I got married again, you'd be my best man.
Is that true?
If I got remarried to my wife, because I do not want to get married to anyone else,
Right.
I would make you my best man in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but you know other friends.
Who's going to be the best man?
There is. I'm actually not gonna have a best
Tell
man.
me, where does he live? Okay. So let's just agree to disagree, but then let's agree on I'll be the best man.
Cool. Sounds good.
For real?